Hey y'all, it's Niccara
And Brandon.
and welcome to another episode of But Make It Books.
A podcast where we are bookishly healing through life. Right here in the city of Baltimore. Making our way.
Making a way out of nothing.
Yeah.
Making a way when you can.
It's so funny. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you know where I almost went? Making my way downtown. I
Walking fast, but you really meant to say making a way where you can. Temporarily.
Both black classics.
Yes.
Both black iconic moments.
I'm crying because it is.
It is, isn't it? Don't tell me it's not. 'Cause
it is. And I need you.
You know.
And I miss you.
All right, cool.
Okay.
This is a really cool episode that we're gonna do because we're kind of having like our midpoint check-in, like our mid-year in review check-in. I realize, like, to be clarified, it's not like midpoint of like the pod.
Yeah.
Because technically we're only still like
four-ish,
like 4 months old at this point. You
yeah,
know?
something like that.
So but this is technically our 10th episode too. So that's a interesting little mile marker as well.
Little nugget.
Yeah, checking in. How do you feel?
Feel good about the pod. I feel good in general. Been a little busy. Had a good therapeutic cry. It's definitely giving Hillary Duff late the rain down and wake my dreams. Definitely coming clean. It's been a lot. I'm just trying to get more structure within myself. I think with that 6 month mark, like, you always just try to restructure yourself and figure out, are your goals making sense? Are you aligned on the goals you made at the top of the year? Like, do they need to be amended? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Yeah. No, it's like I'm definitely in I'm in a place where it's like, the first 6 months coming into this year, I don't know. It started really well, but then it started to get really mixed, and it's kind of still in that mixed place right now. But I'm truly like just grateful every day, and I'm trying to just express that gratitude every day in some new way, and it grows more and more difficult every day, and but we're here to be able to do that quite literally, so it's like it's really cool to like be here, literally. Like, I'm grateful for that, and then like the pod is really cool, and I'm enjoying this time doing the pod, and I don't know, it's really like been, I think that's why this is partially why the year has kind of grown into like this mixed place, because it's like really like reminding me of like where I've kind of always felt like I wanted to be, or like, that's that part of you, you have to go back. That's why I love going back to like that part of you that was less, that whose imagination was less confined and less controlled and more free and more, like would let loose at any point in time. And I remember that part of myself still very clearly. Yeah. And so I try to get back to that. And it's like, really I'm looking at like I've been shaped to think that certain things are like, losses or failures or, but I'm actually gaining so much, but I'm not giving my eye or my attention to my gains as well. So
I've been there before.
So it's like, I don't know. It's like, that's why, again, every day I try to just motivate in gratitude. And, this is definitely a place where it's like, I feel that way.
Yeah,
for sure,
I feel that too.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
It's like, and that's the other part. It's like, is that not enough?
Yeah.
Just the joy of what it feels to like know, like, gratitude and stuff like that, because we're going to get tested and tried every day. Every day.
Every day.
And, it's so interesting because the boundary work that I've been doing lately, not to get whatever, but it still applies. It is a reminder that, like, your boundaries you set are, like, for you. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you have to adhere and you have to be mindful and stay and tend down on your boundaries because other people do what they do.
Yes. And they disrespect them all the time. Yeah. Like, and, being accountable and boundaries are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, and this applies, like, people get into, not you, but others use therapy speak as like a way to like hurt others. Mm-hmm. But like affirming your boundary if you are drained is different than your friends holding you accountable, which I think are two different things. Yeah. And so I'm glad that you were asserting those boundaries because I think you're somebody who very much enjoys accountability of yourself, but also like sometimes people overstep their boundaries. Yeah. And like if you overstep once, people are going to be like, oh, well, they did it once, so they'll do it again.
Yeah. It's definitely important because it is like, Yeah, it really, and there's like a history of like having to like be mindful of that, you know, and I think that that's part of like why for me it's like that freeing factor of like, you know, again, like the freeing factor of like being able to just go out and play with that imagination and like realize that you can just go out here and be your true self and whatever that means, versus having to continue on living in the indoctrination of, oh, you should do this way or you have to be that way. And all that goes into, again, like your boundary work of like, oh, you should be somebody who's easy to deal with or be with or manage or whatever. You should be somebody who can handle X, Y, and Z. You should be somebody who can, you know, do that very quickly. You know, all these things. It's like, well, actually, I should be black and die. Like, those are the two things that I should be. But, you know, let's get that clear. So, I don't know. Yeah, it is like, you know, really like switching up tactics. Maybe switching up tactics is like the word for me. It's like, or it's like where I'm at now with my life. It's like, you know,
that's really, a good word, a good phrase. Switching
like,
up tactics.
Changing tactics. Yeah.
I think that's important.
Because like I know my resolve has always been there and it still resonates very strong. But like maybe I'm just doing things. Maybe I can do things differently.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like, so, I definitely feel that. Definitely understand that.
Yeah, I know, right? So I appreciate the 6-month check-in. Well, 7-month, really, I guess, because we're in July now. But, like, you know, we're still close enough. And
6-ish.
So, yeah, but, like, we wanted to also talk about our check-in with our reading.
Yes.
Which is also another let's change tactics on that type of thing, because
honestly I've been failing.
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's,
or is it failure, or is it just readjusting?
Or like, you know, and it's I mean, it's hard because it's like working at a bookstore, doing the podcast. It's like, oh, I should be reading. I need to be reading. I gotta be cranking them whatever. But it's like, I don't know if it's like like
I'm missing the joy of the reading, because we've read so many books that we can. Like, literally books that we could have like 500 episodes, honestly.
I mean, we have a, you know.
We have a list.
You know what I mean?
We have a list,
you know, that just show how the sausage is made. But, like, we have, like, that's one of the things is, like, we have a lot of spreadsheets. But, like, one of the things that we have is, like, a list of, like, the things that we've read, and we cross-reference what we've read, and then, like, you usually use that. And, like, the thing is, we're still reading. So, like, I haven't updated the list with, like, my latest reads. But, like, I mean, we still have...
Yeah, more reads.
Like, really more that reads we could do or whatever. So it's like, you know, I again, that's that reassurance.
And I'm reading right now. I'm sure you're reading something right now. I'm listening and I'm reading.
Yeah, and that's so. Okay, let's get into so here's an icebreaker question still for us. Our snowball. What are some of your reading goals? Like, what are some of your reading goals for this year?
So I would like to read up to 30 books. That's like my goal. And read or listen to 30 books this year. I've been really ambitious in the past and never quite hit that mark. And with goal setting, if you keep missing it, then you're not really setting up tangible goals. You're just forcing yourself to be stressed out. So usually I've done 40. In the past, I've done 50. And I'm like, girl, you ain't doing that. Like, you reading 30 books or even listening to 30 books is a lot. And so you need to bake into that, like, enjoy that, really get back to the joy of reading and being lost within the pages. So I think I'm also going to readjust my goal from 30 to 20, because I need to get back to, like, really, really falling in love versus just, like, cranking it out so I can, like, knock it off this imaginary list in pressure points that I put on myself.
Yeah. Similarly, so I realized it's so funny because I kind of track it by, like, my Bookstagram, which is wild because, like, I haven't
been up to we the same.
I've been off.
Man, okay, off kilter. I'm so bad.
Sorry, y'all. Me too. Y'all. We be back, but
all right.
I was like my first year, like really proper. I was like 100 books or something. Then like my second year, I was 80, and then this year or last year, I was like 60, and this year I was like I'm trying to go for 40, but I think I'll be closer to like 30, 35 maybe. And I guess I'm cool with that because one of my other goals was to predominantly focus on print, because I did a lot of listening last year and I enjoyed it, but it definitely did help with like the high number. Yeah. And I was like, so how many of these books, I don't know, it's like, where does your attention span go and how much do you retain from listening versus like the in-hand experience of like, you know, for me, it's like having that tangible book, like this is reading time versus like, oh, let me pop on a podcast and do the dishes, you know, let me listen to an audiobook and do whatever. It's like I want to like, I don't know, it's like it's less engaging to listen sometimes. It just depends on what I'm listening to. So that's my rule.
So I only do historical and nonfiction on audio, but all fiction is straight print. So I can be lost and use my imagination in the pages. So I can churn that part of my brain to like imagine like all these things. Like it's allowing me to imagine right now I'm reading Black Candle Woman, which I'm trying to like get lost in and like really use the colors and the vivid descriptions to get lost in. So that's like my rule.
Yeah. I certainly don't have that issue listening to nonfiction, but I lose that feeling, that tangible feeling of wanting to like, again, underline or highlight or, you know, dog ear or whatever.
Me, the purist.
I know.
I'm such a purist. One day I'll be better at life, but not today.
Not today. No, it's cool. So, like, how many books have you read this year so far?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I'm at 16.
You're at 16?
Yeah.
I'm at 16, y'all. Let me see, child. Hoochie later. I'm at 11.
Yeah, 11.
I'm at 11.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
No, that's not bad.
We're both past the. Well, if I'm
doing 40,
no,
they told me I'm 4. They said I'm 4 behind my schedule.
But you can do it.
They're like, you're 4 behind, but you go off, girl.
Go off, you know. Life be lifing.
Life be lifing. So I was like, okay, drag me, sis. Drag
That's hilarious.
Me.
So we'll get into like a little tidbit session, but I want to do like a little rapid fire, word association thing or what have you.
Okay.
It'll be really, really brief. I'm going to say a few words.
Okay.
Right? A couple of them are like just words. A couple of them are like an album title or something like that, right?
Okay.
And you just say the first book that you've read that comes to mind.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Adventure.
That's a good one. Adventure. Sorry, it's taking me so long because it's supposed to be rapid fire, y'all. House of Eve.
The Age of Pleasure.
Rest is resilient. Rest is resistance. Yes.
Renaissance.
You made a fool of death with your beauty.
And Life Be Lifin'.
Black Book.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Sorry, I wasn't very rapidy, but that's like my head.
You could put. I know I put you on the spot with, but you can put me on the spot. You've got 4.
Yeah, that's
whatevers.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right.
For you?
For me, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to hell, y'all. I'm so tired. Scissor. Control.
Let's go with Black Cake for some reason.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Breaking generational curses.
Well, that's Black Cake, actually. That's the Black Cake instantly, yeah.
Okay, so both?
Yeah, so both of those go to Black Cake.
Come on, you gotta pick a different book.
I mean, I would change Scissor then to Rest is Resistance as well, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Because generational curses is definitely Black Cake.
Masculinity, actually, just masculinity.
Stunt Boy in Between Time.
Okay. Challenging black family norms. Or we can do just patriarchal structure. Challenging patriarchal structure.
Take My Hand.
Okay. Boom. All right. Boom. All right. We good. I love that for us. Cool.
Love that. That was so rapid, but we made it through. We made it through. Okay, so what's like if you pick like two or three, what would you like highlight ones in this episode of like, oh, these are ones that like are still sitting with me. Not necessarily your favorite or like the best reads or whatever it sits in there with you, but just, what are 3 ones that are still like sitting with you of your reads so far?
So I didn't realize this also when I started reading, that I've been reading like women of color primarily this year, except for like 2 books right now. And I was like, by accident, but that just happens. So for me, it would have to be 7 Days in June. I read this last year and it's still sitting with me. Like, I'm like, this was the most like beautiful book, and it wasn't perfect. Yeah. And that's why I loved it. I know right now she has, Tia Williams has, right now, Perfect Find on Netflix with Gabrielle Union and Keith Powers. but I would love to see this either be a series or a movie, and I think this is a beautiful book. Black Cake.
Black Cake, yeah.
This still sits with me.
Yeah.
Because it is a that I cried at the end. Like, it just touched
at my heart. They really did, yeah.
It's like so many different stories blended together to make this most beautiful mixture, and wow.
It was cooking.
It was
baking. It was
doing all the things, mixing, beautiful. Like, the cover, you don't even know what the cover really is until you get to the end, and you're like, wow, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then this is a book I read this year, and I finished in like 2 days. It's House of Eve, which I got a copy for you.
Yeah. I still have to pick that up. I'm not behind.
No, you're not behind. But I will say, once you start, you're not going to be able to put it down. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I need to finish this book. This was an amazing book, and I still sit with it. It's just tying in how to make a little something out of nothing, but also being there for yourself, being there for others. Like, this is a beautiful book. Yeah. So those are my 3.
I love it. How
about you?
One that still sits with me, and I think it's because I loved, like in high school lit and stuff like that, I loved Animal Farm. So Glory is almost like diplomatic, so Pan-African in a lot of ways. It's so
that's the colors.
Capitalistic. It's so like, I mean, it really is. It's like almost like a retelling or a reshaping of what they deal with in Animal Farm from like the capitalistic and the uprising against the regime of sorts. Yeah, like the language in there is very fantastic. All of these characters that are predominantly animals, if not all animals, have such human likeness. It's kind of scary. But it is really so strong and so powerful in terms of like a revolutionary revolutionary impact. Yeah, I mean, I think like if you enjoyed Animal Farm, then you should read Glory. I think it's a great. This writer Noviolet wrote something else that I forget, or like was or something. They have something, but I forget. Anyway, I'm not gonna get caught up in that. I'm gonna try not to do. Well, you know, we're gonna talk about it more in depth, but like Restless Resistance is like, it really has helped. Like, I think this is partly why I'm mixed in my like life right now, because I'm trying to practice more of what we learned from this book and other scholars who I've started to look into based off of this now. This piece is like, again, like Restless Resistance. It's a challenge to every system, because it's like we have so much more unlearning to do. Yes. And once you read this book,
I'm still unpacking.
You really have to unpack like how we all are just so part of this thing that won't let us breathe. And just literally like rest is the word, but it's so much deeper than that, and we'll get to that later. Really. Now, this one right here, this was was this my first? Yeah, this was my first Tiffany D. Jackson. Okay. And this could possibly be my book of the year.
Really?
This was, I mean, this is amazing. Like, this was very like R. Kelly, you know, against, you know, a younger girl who's caught up in a system of, you know, trying to find herself, trying to discover herself, but also just like the beauty. I mean, you know, it's music. Like, I love like just the beauty of music and how that can be like seducing and encapsulating, especially to a naive mind, but then also when a predatory mind is in the mix as well. It's really it's a hard book for like young, so I do ask young Black women specifically to read with caution, and, you know, parents, you know, maybe read or whatever, but also it's a YA novel, so it's like, you know, this is also like, you know, this is also why, like, you know, we as like young adults should still be reading some YA stuff, because this character is almost a decade younger than both of us, but like the people who she's around are within our age bracket. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I feel like that's why it's good for all of us to read these types of books.
I love YA novels.
Grown by Tiffany Jackson was like, I do still think about this book all the time, and it's like, man, it was and it was just well written. She has a wild pen. That is just like very vicious, and very clear and good, and I love it. What books are you still looking forward to reading? Like, what are like one or two that are on your TBR? You know what I mean?
Honey and Spice. Mm-hmm. That's on there. I want to get back into Chain Gang All Stars because it is beautiful, but it's dark. Mm-hmm. But beautiful. I also would like to get into more classics, like Black classics. I want to go back and reread Song of Solomon. I want to go back and read Go Tell It on the Mountain. I really want to read other Bell Hooks novels and not just All About Love, because I read A Will to Change, which was, to me, more powerful than All About Love, which touches on Black masculinity, masculinal structures, and we as women upholding those structures. And so those are mine. How about you?
Yeah. Whew, I'm trying to picture in my head now if it's like my shelf. Mm-hmm. I really want to. I'm realizing how effortless. I'm working on a project now. Mm-hmm. I'm realizing how effortless representation is for me. Not effortless as in terms of like acquiring the person to do the gig. Yeah. But effortless as in I'm not satisfied until we find the person. Like we were looking forever for a Latinx actor who could play a mother. And wouldn't settle, we would keep going. Mm-hmm. As I'm looking, I was like, wow, like we have non-binary representation both on stage and behind it. Yeah. We have Latinx representation, we have Black representation, we have age group from like the youngest being like 20 to the oldest being 60. It's like things like that are very important for me. Yeah. Say all this to say, I feel like and you mentioned you're reading Page Boy now, and it's like I feel like that'll be my next like memoir because I'm working living, but then also working in my community, theater community. We're constantly trying to find people who can do whatever thing that we need them to do. But there's been a fight to make sure the representation stands in that and is like non-negotiable in that. And code of conduct is strong in that. Yeah. And I'm always trying to like learn why that's so difficult. In this space.
We could go a whole episode talking about that. But as like a former theater kid.
Right, yeah. Like and like specifically like in the theatrical space. You know, like for me, like it's like in Congress and all these are issues and things like that, but like where I'm in the theater space and so like, Elliot being an actor and so forth, I'm like, I want to hear those industry stories a bit and I want to experience that a bit more. So Page Boy is on my list for sure.
It's I'm listening to it now and it's a great listen. Like he is like really detailed. He's putting it all out there. Yeah. And I appreciate that vulnerability. Yeah. I think this is something that, not to downgrade anybody's story, I wish I got a little bit more out of H Mart. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I would say the other one that I think I'm looking forward to getting into is because I started because when it came in here at the store, the ARCs, I picked it up and I read like the first like 30 pages of it and it got so like beautifully overwhelming. But then like life goes on. Jesmyn Ward's Let Us Ascend. That's coming out in October. Ooh, and just the first section, I was like, oh. Yeah. But like,
and I know that's your girl.
Like, and that's that's it's like if I just the hem of her garment.
Yes, just touch the hem.
Just the touch.
Just the touch of the hem.
But no. So she's definitely. I'm gonna read that very soon. Just the setup was very beautiful. Just again already. So I'm very much looking forward to that too. But I also finally read Tomorrow recently. I meant to say that I finally read that.
It was as amazing as everyone said.
The thing is, as a gamer, like I did love it, but like the inner workings. Yeah, fine, cool, great. I was encapsulated, but like really I was just like caught up in like the matching of like game design to human design. That was really cool. Okay. So I really very much enjoyed that aspect of it. Okay. And that was like but like Chain Gang, I say that because like a lot of big books like that, like Chain Gang All Stars, like big world type books. I'm trying to read a few more of those because I'm trying to write some more and I feel like
It would be very helpful.
It would be very helpful to, like, you know what I mean?
If anybody out there is looking about like a quick synopsis, from what I can gather, it's like an imagination, like a futuristic world of like using gladiator tactics with our prison.
Chain gang, you mean? Chain gang all stars?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. The prison industrial system mixed with like gladiator, Roman gladiator style, like you fight your way to the top, and like dealing with also those structures within that as well, mixed with like love and like all of that. It's kind of like, if I would imagine Hunger Games with Gladiator, like Russell Wilson,
Russell Crowe.
Why say Wilson? Ain't this your husband?
Yes.
Oh my God! Y'all know I say everybody's name wrong, child. Mixed with that, okay, Russell Crowe. My bad, Russell Crowe.
Russell Wilson. I love it.
Okay, Russell Crowe, mixed with like, I don't even know what else to describe it with, like a kind of Woman King kind of aspect. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
So Hunger Games, Woman King, Russell Wilson. Got it.
Russell Crowe!
I love it.
Gladiator, dang it. I'm gonna stop talking. Y'all just rude.
And
okay,
with that, we gonna continue to bookishly heal through our life. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all for listening. No, there's something. Yeah, we
got something percolating.
Yeah.
We're not gonna let it out yet.
Not yet. Too soon. We're very excited
soon.
about some stuff. Yeah. Yes. Again, gratitude. Sorry, gratitude and gratitude. Yes. And thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all for listening. Once again, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Niccara.
Until next time, keep on living bookishly and healing. Thank y'all.
All right, peace, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Niccara. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. If you like it, please make sure you review, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Of course, sharing is caring, so make sure you share with your friends and let everyone know to come into Charm City Books to get our recommendations. And thank you so much for listening again, and I'll see y'all. Be good.